Welcome back! In this video we're taking a look at Meta Platforms or Facebook, which happens to be my largest holding right now. The company is actually Soaring. When I bought it actually back at the previous scandal, sort of, the Cambridge Analytica scandal, you remember probably. Back in 2020 I believe that was. When I bought the company, you can go back and see. I bought it at about 150. I remember it was around this level, probably about 157 or so or 8. Pretty much at the lows back then. I still remember it, and it had a big run, and I never sold. And now it had a little bit of a slump and starts on its way up again. So as you can imagine, I was up much more than I am now, but I'm still up, so I'm good. So regardless of that, we're gonna be taking a look at the companies and see whether this price today is a buy. And I will explain why I feel that this is actually a pretty good opportunity here. So first things first, we will examine the company and the financials here, the sort of like the generic metrics here. The P ratio sitting at 17, and look how far down it's going. We're talking about a value company, it's less than a 20 of a PE, and this is a tech company that has insane growth. So the 17 is amazing. And the same thing with price to free cash flow ratio. A lot of free cash flow, and the price that's going down means that we're getting a lot for our buck, pretty much, a lot for what the company is making in terms of free cash flow. And if you have been watching this channel for a while now, you know that I absolutely love free cash flow, because cash is the lifeblood of every business. And this is why we pay special attention, and many of the formulas that I'm using, the metrics, the discounted cash flow models are about cash flow, and that's for a good reason. Another amazing thing that I love, they are buying back shares like crazy, 20% less shares, 20% less outstanding shares in the last 5 years is amazing. Means that you are practically speaking getting 20% of an increase in the intrinsic value of your stock. And at some point the market will follow. So the free cash flow to total liabilities, look at this one. This is 1 year. What does that mean? It means that Facebook last year made, in 1 year, made enough free cash flow to pay the whole amount of its total liabilities just in that year, 1.05. So it's basically in 1 year. So you can examine that by taking a look, and this is a very cool metric. I love this metric. If you go to the balance sheet of the company, you will see here that the total liabilities over here are 41 billion, which means that if we need 1 year of free cash flow, the cash flow statement is the free cash flow is 39 billion. Remember 105. So it's about 1 year of free cash flow that we need to allocate to pay all the total liabilities that the company has. Meaning that we, practically speaking, don't really have any debt to care about. We have debt as a company, but we don't really care about it because it's nothing to what the company is making. It's like 1 year of free cash flow. That's like nothing. So of course, they're not going to be paying it back using their free cash flow. That would be a mistake, because debt is useful and you can use it for leverage. You can use debt to make more money. And so a company that makes free cash flow will not just allocate that to pay debt. That would be very dumb. And they're not going to be doing that. But we do use this metric to realize how much debt the company has, which is nothing in this case, not much debt at all. The 5-year revenue growth, look at this, also increasing. The net income growth, again, also increasing massively. The 5-year free cash flow growth, also increasing massively. And the total equity growth, marginally down, but look at this, from 74 billion to 128 billion. And typically, also, you have to realize that software companies may not even have that many assets. They are not like car companies or companies that may have factories and things of that sort. So even if you take a look at a company of that sort and it's increasing its total equity year over year, it's good to see, but it's not my most important metric here, because again, this is like a software company, it's a tech company. Assets of course matter, but it wouldn't be my top concern here. But everything you see here is a check mark. All of these metrics are a check mark. It's amazing. And the only one that is an X sort of is like the price to sales ratio. So it's pretty much the revenue compared to the price of the stock. It's a little bit elevated, and that's a generic metric. We have like 1, 2 as being good. and the price to book ratio, which is a little bit elevated. But again, we're talking about a tech company and also a company that's like a software company. We don't really care too much about book value. So yeah, other than that, look at this return on equity. I mean, this is fantastic, really, in terms of the metrics. These companies, the metrics are insane. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at the stock evaluation tool and determine how much we should be paying today. Now look at the revenue, the revenue growth of the company. 47, 37, 26, 21, 37, the last 5 years. This is insane growth. So we can definitely go with something like 14, 16, and 18, and that may actually even be a little bit conservative here based on what the company has been doing. The net income margins are sitting at about 25 to 35 or 40 really. So we're gonna go 25, 30 and 35 here. The free cash flow margin, it's about, for the most part, 80, 90 and 100, I'd say makes sense. 80, 90 and 100. And the annual return is 13% is what I typically use. And I hit calculate here. And you will see that pretty much for every projection here, and even these low estimates, which I feel they're very, very, very conservative, really, we are getting a current price that is actually less than even our lowest estimates here. And our high estimates are actually $500, which I think is actually probably the one that makes the most sense. And a revenue increase, revenue growth of 18%, I think it's very, very achievable for this company, as you can see. 35% net income margin. I mean, again, I think it's achievable, very achievable. It's actually about what they're doing. It's their average. And the free cash flow margin of 100 is slightly more than this 95 that they're doing. So somewhere in between medium and high, I think is what makes sense. So I would probably be willing to pay even $400 for this company, frankly. I mean, it's insane how cheap it is. So that's the max price to pay, by the way, right? Remember, it's the max price to pay for the projections to come true today. So for getting an annual return of 13% every year, you could even pay $357 with this kind of projections and make this amount of money intrinsically with what the company is actually making in terms of free cash flow and basically operations. And this is why Facebook is actually my largest holding right now. Their financials are stellar. I really like what I'm seeing here. And yeah, this is why I bought a lot of Facebook back then, really, back in 2020. So that's what I had to wanted to talk about in terms of Facebook. Let me know what you think with a comment below. Are you a buyer of Facebook? What are you thinking? Are you potentially selling it? Did you buy earlier? Did you buy when it was at its high? Even at its highs, I think it was a very, very good value, really. Even at 350, again, as you see here, I think it's still a very good value. So, thank you for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you did. That really, really helps with the algorithm. It helps bump up our videos here, and so I can make more content for you, and it's gonna be great for everybody. So, if you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoy this kind of content, you may also consider subscribing, because at some point I will give you access to this tool. I will let you know how to get it in about a couple of months. You may want to remain subscribed for when that happens, so that you get the notification. Remember to hit the notification bell as well. That really, really helps. And if you did enjoy this video, take a look at this other one that I made earlier and discusses Twitter and the fact that it's actually way higher today, way more than what it was yesterday, because Elon Musk bought a large stake, about 10% of the company. So thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.